So all right, wonderful. So I want to officially open the meeting for the Prince George's County Local Development Council. It is March the 18th, year of our Lord 2026. Y'all like that? That's old school, right? Year of our Lord. And it is currently let's see, it is currently 7:09. And I like to try to start the meeting around 7:10 to give people time to trickle in. But before we begin and go down our agenda, I want to first go over excused absences. We received notifications from our senator as well as our two members of the House of Delegates asking for an excused absence. As you all know, they're still hard in session. All right, and they're hard at work, bringing more resources back to this community. So let's let them work. Okay. Outside of that, we open in prayer. The minutes. Well, we can't. We still don't have enough to vote, right?
No, and that's
It's
okay.
okay.
We can vote on them next month.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll say this. First of all, I want to thank Patel for stepping up to the plate
Oh,
and
thank you, beautiful lady. Thank you.
putting the minutes together. Okay. Now, I don't know if that was a one-time thing or she's going to help us
Oh
until.
no. Yeah, she can continue
I'm going to
until,
continue until
yeah,
Miss Alana comes back from.
yes, yes.
All right. I
Yeah, the
got to
baby's only 3 weeks old, so she's gonna
Yeah.
be out for a minute.
Mazel tov. Now let me say this before that. I got it. We can't afford to pay you. Okay. Don't let these numbers, don't let these millions and hundred thousands and all. Don't let that fool. We don't have no money to pay you for this.
It's
Okay.
all good. I know
Okay.
what I'm doing. I know
Okay.
it's a part of my heart to serve. It's fine.
Amen. It's a labor
Bless
of
you.
love.
Bless you, darling.
I just want to put that out there. I don't want to be like, oh, this is an extra assignment. We don't have
Mm-mm.
any money to pay you. Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay. We're on a fixed income. All right. And
Yes,
so
we are.
I say that to say, so baby, new news. Let's just jump into new news. How is the baby? Name,
Oh,
weight, sex?
he's beautiful. His name is Tyler Lester. Tyler, that's his name. I call him Bam Bam because I hope she has pebbles to go with it. Bam Bam, pebbles and Bam Bam. Us old people will remember Flintstones,
Oh,
right?
we love the Flintstones. Listen. Those, as they say on social media, those Flintstone vitamins that I took as a kid is what's keeping me alive today. That's how I got through COVID. Okay, them Flintstone vitamins. All right.
Yes, but no, they're doing well. The baby's healthy and beautiful, and so is Alana. She's doing really well. 3 weeks now, so they're doing great. And I'll let her know that you asked about her.
Please give her our best. Also, when we after this meeting, please send me ask her if it's okay for us to have her address, and I will send her something on behalf of the LDC.
Oh, very nice. I will do that. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll send like a little basket or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to do something for mommy. Let's maybe send her a gift card or something. She needs something.
Ah, yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
her
yes.
favorite stuff. All right.
Perfect.
And so as we move right along, let's talk about the results for the vote.
Hmm.
And the numbers came in, and we had to do a recount and another recount. We had to get the Board of Elections involved. We had to get a couple of people to hold it up to the light and make sure. But the numbers came in, and while I don't want to kind of drag everything out with saying how many votes with this person, how many votes that person, I just want to start by saying a wholehearted congratulations to our new vice chair of the Prince George's County Local Development Council, Council Member Lamont Green. Everybody put their hands together for Vice Chair Lamont Green. Congratulations, Vice Chair. Him and I have we spoke briefly just to kind of go over his new accomplishment. And I was joking when I said to him, I texted him earlier. He texted me, and I just got back in town, and I apologize for that. Just laboring. You all know that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And so I thank you all so much for not only being a part of this, but also those who are going to be stepping up to help us over the next several months to kind of really grow this thing out with our committees, with our vice chair. I'm going to be leaning on you. And of course, you can lean back on me. And of course, together we're going to be leaning on Miss Carrie because that's just how this works. Okay.
That's
That's,
perfectly
that's how this,
fine. Yes,
so,
and just so you know, Mr. Green, if Mr. Wade cannot attend, you will take over and run the meeting. Okay, so you
Affirmative,
guys,
yes.
okay,
Mr.
okay,
Wade we have had extensive conversations about all
okay,
things
okay. Great.
duties of forward and things that I need to participate in. So
Absolutely.
he has a right hand, I'm his left hand.
All
Whatever
right.
he
appreciate it.
needs, I'm
I
here,
love
and
that.
vice versa.
Very
Appreciate it.
cool.
And so thank you for accepting. I mean, because just because they voted for him, mean you had to accept. So they voted for him, he accepted, and we're grateful. Okay. Um,
Congratulations.
Absolutely. Next order of business. Let's talk about this 400 something odd thousand dollars that the LDC specifically we funds that we will be looking over. So there's a few things in front of us. All right, let's start by um, talking about what is our painful truth about our kind of timeline. We are behind the eight ball. I was talking to Miss Curry about this, and not we as a committee, but just we as a process because of the special election. We as a committee, we're doing good. We're doing better
Mhm.
than good, okay? But we as a process is unfortunate because the whole county just got thrown into the middle of a special election. So as you all know, there's a lot of things that was kind of had to be expedited, some things had to be tabled, and then there were some things that kind of fell in between the cracks. So one of those things that we're not going to let fall between the cracks, but it's going to be on the more expedited side of the table, would be the issuance of this funding. I don't know if issuance is a word, but when you say something, you say it confidently and you push right past it, people accept it to be a word. Amen. So the so with that being said, we want to take this opportunity to discuss the 400,000. So here's the scenario. We can do one of several things. And I'm going to break these different things down so that we can all agree one at a time. We're going to have to agree one with how much money we're going to allow these different nonprofits to apply for. Now, in the past, the cap was $50,000. So we can approve up to 50,000. They can apply for 50, but we can say, all right, after further review, we're going to go ahead and give you this. Now the next thing we have to agree on is are we going to raise that bar from 50 to maybe 100,000? Okay. The next thing is going to be we're going to have to get the word out that people can apply. And then lastly, we have to worry about, well, we have to get a timeline on when the county council is going to vote on the budget that the county executive just submitted last week. So we have to consider all of this with our timeline to get the money out. So we still have a deadline in which we have to give the 400,000 out prior to, I believe, it returning back to that pot, if I'm not mistaken. How does that go?
If it doesn't, if you guys don't send this funds out by the end of June the 30th, which is the county's fiscal year, yeah, it doesn't roll over into the next fiscal year. It just goes into the county's general fund.
And let me say this, while I know our county has our advice will be Rachel 1 second. While I know our county has plenty of places they can put 400,000, we have an opportunity to do direct support, right? Right where people let's meet them at their needs. So I for one don't want to let that timeline pass by without us being able to get that done. So let's first talk about it. Brother O'Neill, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
What'd you
Uh,
say?
I said good evening. Thank you for joining us. Do you have two devices on?
I got two devices.
All right.
Hold
If
on.
uh-huh.
What? Okay, let me see.
So it's either you have this on your phone and your computer, you can turn one of them off.
I don't have it on my phone. Let me see something.
Go
Okay.
ahead, take your time. While you're doing, can you hear me clearly? Or is it an echo when I talk as well?
I can hear you.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute you just for a hot second while you work that out, but I'm gonna bring you up to speed on what we're currently about to discuss. Okay. What
Okay.
we're let's see. And you know what? I can't mute him. This is not my meeting.
I did it
Um,
already. I muted him.
no problem. This is just my meeting on paper. This is Miss Curry's meeting. So so for those who are just joining us, what we're talking about is the $400,000 allotted specifically to us to be able to provide to persons in the community, organizations in the community. And so we do have in front of us, and give me 1 second. I just got, do me a favor, Ms. Carey, can you please put down a excuse absence for, let's see, Danny Moore, please?
hmm
Thank
Okay,
you.
so it's Danny Moore, Senator Muse's office, Delegate Turner, Delegate Woods,
Yes.
correct? Okay. I was just going over it for Patel's. Um,
Thank you, Chair. I was just about to say that, she asked me to tell you guys that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
She's
so much.
here. She's at speaking for neighborhood stuff.
mm.
Mhm. She shared my HOA. I should be down there, while that
She's
PLC.
she's at mine.
Hear me now?
She's at my HOA.
Yeah,
Hello?
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So you
Got an
still got a little
echo?
echo going.
I don't know what that is.
That's all right. That's all right. We're gonna push through. We're gonna push through. The meeting's not gonna be that too much longer. Only thing that you missed was a prayer because we don't have enough to vote on the minutes, but we're discussing the $400,000. So my first thing is if we keep it at 50,000, that's going to be even more. Let's first talk about the amount. If we keep it at 50,000, that's going to be more organizations that we're going to have to find, vet, and hopefully get them through the county process if they haven't already been approved by the county uh, to get them funding before June 30th. If we raise the amount, excuse me, if we raise the amount, let's say the $100,000, what that would do is that would give us only four organizations we really have to vet, pour into, look into, and monitor, kind of monitor with some oversight. And then now here's the caveat with that. It's important that while we can give them any amount, and I'll discuss this with my advisor, while we can give them any amount, if we if we lowball them a small amount, that won't really kind of help with an infrastructure. We won't really be able to build and pour into an organization to really make a difference. So if we do give them a large amount, we can do that, but we will be giving this a larger amount if we decide that as a team.
Who
We
is
will
the
be giving.
who is the you talking about the person the organization you're talking about?
No, no, there's no organization in particular. I'm just mentioning that the organizations who will be applying, just in general, yeah, who will be applying. So if we give it to said organizations, if we do $100,000, not only will we be more than likely making a more of a significant difference in their organization and in turn to people who we're here to serve, but we'll be doing that, explaining to them and having them understand that don't expect this next year. This $100,000 if we decide on that amount as a team. This $100,000 is not something that you're going to be looking to get from the LDC every year henceforth. This is a one-time thing. We're trying to, kind of, kind of excuse me, we're trying to get these resources out in a timely fashion, and we also want to make sure there's enough resources to make a significant difference in those who are serving directly in the community. So that's just my bit on it, okay? So what I want to do is I want everybody to chime in. Let me know what you all think. Do you all think we should keep it at the 50? Do you think we should raise it? Do you all think that that will be doable if we don't raise it to find more organizations before our deadline of June 30th. Go ahead, Ms. Noble, Councilwoman Noble.
Thank you. I have to find all these hit this, hit that. I guess the question is timing to get the information out. So what is the normal process? Or are people, because someone did ask me, well, when are you all sending out money? And I'm thinking, I don't know. Look, I don't know. I said, we're still working on that. So, I mean, is it a process already in place that people are aware that
Yeah.
all they know, they need to hit something and push it on through?
Yes, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Carey to answer. Thank you for that. But I also want to mention this, that while we do have a June 30th deadline, and Ms. Carey is going to explain to you the process and how people can apply and how we're going to get the word out there. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on the county council to approve the
Oh,
budget. So they got,
gotcha.
but that doesn't stop us from working on a plan. So once it is approved, we're
Mhm.
hitting the ground running rather than us
Yes.
coming up with a plan when it's approved. So thank you for that.
Correct. Very well said, Mr. Chairman. So, hopefully, by our next meeting, April the 15th, I think it is, once you guys decide whether you want to have a maximum of $100,000 that you can award to each organization or 50,000 or what, it could be 75,000, it could be whatever you guys pick. Once you let me know what you want that maximum to be, then I can put that in the portal and update it. It's an electronic portal that we've always had. The Office of the County Executive's communications team will send out a press release to the world to say the local development council MGM Local Development Impact Grant is announcing a $400,000 grant funding opportunity. 501c3s can apply, and we give them a certain deadline to apply. So I would suggest we give them a 2 week turnaround. Normally, we give people a month, but we don't have enough time.
Mhm.
So we'll give them a 2 week turnaround to apply. Then I'll give you guys another 2 weeks to review them and select your organizations. And then what we'll do is send out, once you guys select them, I will download all the applications, send them all to you. You guys will review all the applications and you make the selection. Once you make the selections, you'll let me know. I'll send out the award letters and the denial letters for the organizations that will not be funded. Uh, and then that's it. And once you guys decide, then the Office of Management and Budget and the Department of Finance will send the funding out to the nonprofits. But all of that has to be done, even the money out the door by June 30th. Yeah, because that's the end of the county's fiscal year.
Fiscal year. Okay,
Mhm.
Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
that. I want to, the floor now recognizes, the chair recognizes Ms. McHale. You have the floor.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Hi, so I'm Mikkel Michael. You got it right, so I really appreciate that. I'm a resident of Fort Washington and I'm a former employee of MGM. I've also worked in communications for Lockheed Martin, Department of Energy, Obama administration. So I have a couple of ideas. I also work in a nonprofit, so I have a couple ideas I wanted to float to you. So instead of picking, if you up the cap, instead of picking just 4 organizations, maybe pick 2 or 3 to fund large amounts and save some of that money for organizations that need smaller amounts. Because an organization, some places might only need $1,000 or $800, depending on what they're trying to accomplish. So you don't want that good work to slide because all the money is gone to just several individuals. In addition, um, in addition to sending out a press release, why not also do advertising on social media? A lot of people may not see a press release. It doesn't always get a lot of views and good returns if people aren't always focused on the county website. But if there's a social media push on Instagram and TikTok, if that's amenable to some folks, then more organizations will see it. And you'll have a greater volume of people applying for those funds so you can get the money out the door before the end of the fiscal year.
And I appreciate that. Fantastic idea. Here's the only caveat with that piece. Unfortunately, there is a vetting process with the county that every organization has to go through. And so what I want to do is, and my goal is prior to us preparing for fiscal year 2027, I want to also do, and you may have not have been on our previous meeting, but I would love for us to keep in contact with you so that we can pick your brain if there's anything that you want to help us do. But what I want to do is we want to talk about doing a resource fair where we can not only bring in nonprofits to be able to help vet them for the next year, but also help them apply through the county so they can get approved to be on that list.
Mm.
And so I love your ideas. Thank you so much for sharing. And I do want to add one thing before I turn the floor over to Vice. Is there a way, and this question is for specifically for Ms. Curry, but just an idea. Is there a way, do we have to give all this money to nonprofits, or can we just open up some kind of quick scholarship program? And there's a lot of seniors who are getting ready for
With
school.
So
some of
yes,
the
you can. It does not have to go to 501c3s. It does not.
Okay. So Vice, I see we must be on the same page. Okay. That's why you Vice. But now let me ask this. I'm gonna turn it over to you in a second. If that's an idea, I want everybody to think about that. Could we put together, I mean, could we serve as a scholarship committee? Could we get, I mean, that'll be easier for us to get the word out to the high schools in our district than trying to go, do this big push, right? And
Mhm.
then we can actually be able to put money directly in the hands of where we know it's going to make a difference. So go ahead, Vice.
come off mute.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it did something weird. Thank you so much, Chairman. I appreciate it. We are in each other's brain. I was thinking the exact same thing. If it was maybe something scholarship wise that we can give it, or Ms. Curry, or were there other applicants that didn't make the cut this round that maybe have already been vetted that we may be able to get the funds out sooner rather than going through this waiting period or re-vetting period? I don't know if once you don't qualify or once you don't receive acceptance, you have to get re-vetted again or not. If there's some in line still to receive, maybe we can just stick with the people who have already applied and
So
continue to give them.
nobody has applied yet. So
Okay,
that's the first thing. Second thing is we do the same vetting every year for all organizations because an organization that was vetted last year may not
make the vetting
pass vetting this
requirements.
year. There are
Okay,
organizations that may um, lose their 501c3 status from the IRS if they don't file their 990s. There are all kind of reasons, or not in good standing with the state. There are all kind of reasons why an organization and the reason why we vet them every year because we want to make sure they're still in good standing with
yeah.
the IRS and the state. The other thing is to Miss Michael, am I saying that right? To her
Michael.
question, Michael, I'm sorry. To her point about social media, when the county executive's communications team does a press release, it goes out onto her social media platforms as well, not just on the county's website. So it will hit social media.
Thank you, Miss Curry.
Mhm.
Thank you. And I think actually piggyback on what she's saying, and I don't disagree with it. I think she may be referring to more of a specific LDC drive, like to kind of get out because there's a bunch of other platforms like DMV Daily, a lot of other, really big social media outlets that will take a flyer like that and it'll touch, 100,000 people and
So yeah, so once it goes out of the county executive's office,
you can
then you
forward it
guys
on.
can take it and
Okay.
put it on your own, social media and spread the word out. So yes, you can do that.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah.
So I guess where we are right now is what are we going to
My
do?
hand is up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I
Mr.
didn't see that.
O'Neill.
I apologize. Go ahead, sir.
Mhm.
The ideas she got, but some of the people who we give the contribution to also do scholarships in some cases, don't they?
That's true. Yeah, there are nonprofits
And
that do
and and
scholarships.
and Miss Michaela, I might be pronouncing your name wrong. Is that we can do scholarships. One of the things why I'm on this board, I'm active up Friendly High School, but let me give you an example. I'm not saying we don't need to give scholarship, but each year we tell kids if they go into Maryland school, they can get a legislative scholarship from the three delegates, the senator. We tell them that. You'd be surprised that of the people of the kids that not do not even apply to that. I mean, they're in college now in the state of Maryland. And I'm saying that what you're saying is not a good idea, but you have to really press to make these kids get these scholarships. I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, and I work it every year. I've been working up there like 20 some years and I mean, I didn't talk to kids at Bowie or Morgan or whatever. And they say, I didn't know about it. I say, all you gotta do is talk to your delegate. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. We can do that, but we're really gonna have to, once we put it out there, we're gonna have to be the ones to identify students to give the money to. I mean, you just got to put that in consideration. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that what if I mean I'll be transparent with you all. Um, I want more time, and I see the hands raised. And thank you, Brother O'Neill, for that. I see your hand raised. I personally, this is just my personal opinion. Kendall Wade, not Chairman Wade. With us not having all the time that I would personally like to get to know some of these nonprofits, and to be able, before we pour, $100,000 into an organization or $200,000 into an organization, and and then after we give you the money, we go in and say, "Oh, what are you about?" I think that just for this first go around, I would be more comfortable with putting that money directly in the hands for a child's education. Now, I do know we'll have some work in front of us, but I believe that if we consider the schools that we have in the district, in the graduating class, just a matter of getting in contact, not just something. I mean, obviously, we won't just be able to send an email to the school. We'll have to speak to a counselor and say, listen, we have money. We're going to lose this money. I know kids who want to go to school, can't afford it, don't have the money, you know, families' resources are kind of limited, and kind of work with them directly to do like a direct push. I think we can pull it off. That's just me throwing it out there, okay? But I do understand what you're saying. There's a lot of resources out there people just don't apply for. So I do appreciate that. The floor now recognize Miss McKell again.
Hello. So I did want to make a couple of
Is it
points.
Mikhail or Mikhail? I just want to.
It's Dr. Mikkel Michael.
Dr. Mikhail Michael. Okay.
Yes. So there are a couple of points I just wanted to make. If people don't apply for certain things like this, most of the times it's because they don't know. And then if they do find out, they don't know how. So yes, you can tell counselors that you have this money to give students, but someone has to help the student apply. And not everyone has that knowledge base in their family or in their community and that support. So that's something that also has to be considered. In addition, I have nothing wrong with supporting high school students going to college, but what about some older students returning to school? Prince George's Community College, for example, maybe cover the fees, maybe not the full tuition, but cover certain fees or something or cost for returning students or older students who are trying to learn new skills because this economy has not been great for people who look like us for obvious reasons. They could also use a hand up. And if things are going to be posted on social media, we have to keep in mind that unfortunately, not everybody pays attention to politics. Not everybody follows the candidates or the county council members, the governor, members of Congress on social media, but everybody has social media. So if you do a targeted campaign, and you might even have to put a little bit of money behind it on like Instagram, on TikTok, then you'll get the people you want to see it. But everyone is not necessarily going to pay attention to the social media of an elected official because they're not as exciting as, say, I don't know, Kim Kardashian or somebody like that.
All right. No, I appreciate that. No, thank you. And actually, let me say this. You brought up a really good point. Um, trade schools and things of that nature. That would be making a scholarship available to people who want to go to school for, HVAC, barbering, something like that.
Teaching. We need teachers badly.
That and actually even when it comes to public safety, there is there are colleges, for PG Community College and Arundel Community College, that have police academies, and persons have to put themselves through that. And of course, if they're working in our local community or local residents, I don't see why. This is a very good discussion. So okay, Brandon Johnson, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Go right ahead. We're gonna give you the floor, and then I'm coming right back to you, Brother O'Neill. And then Miss Morant, I got you, Morant.
Thank
Go ahead.
you. Thank you. No, I actually just wanted to come and piggyback on a few things, but also, not only piggyback, but give my thoughts on it. One, I think incredible approach, great idea from all around. I'm fully on board with doing, my part in achieving that. One of the other things I was going to suggest, since we're in this brainstorming session and everyone's taking notes, is a part of what Mr. O'Neill raised as well, and Dr. Michael, what you raised as well, is that I think what we set the limitations to will matter, like mostly in terms of what type of ROI. Basically, the investment we get on how much energy we put out there and getting the word out will also depend on what are the limitations in place. As someone, and this is just from personal experience, but also what I'm seeing in high school, I chose to go to PG Community College. And then I also went to Bowie State University. But graduating college, I wasn't necessarily in a good place grade wise where I was ready for that. So I didn't apply for anything. And I just went straight into what I could afford because I didn't think I could. So I think even at the minimum of, okay, this scholarship, while you can apply, the minimum GPA requirement is as whatever the lowest is in the state of Maryland. Because UMES at one point, they still may require a 2.5. A lot of scholarships to even apply, you need a 3.0. So I think also keeping in mind of the barriers we place for that, like, yes, you want, excellent candidates and you don't want your money wasted. But I think a part of the GPA requirement also falls into place of what they're studying for. Maybe we don't have a requirement. And as long as you're looking to study and there's a way that you can actually submit your documents from school. So whether you went to PG and you needed to go because your GPA was the lowest and you wanted the ability to catch up, or whether you're going for HVAC, whether you're going for teaching, just kind of set and thinking about how the limitations we put in place, I think will dramatically increase or decrease, what we see in the amount of people who apply or even bother coming out to the events that we host so people can apply. Like getting that, when we think about the marketing and that information and anything going out, I think that's something we should decide on as well.
Brandon Johnson, fantastic idea. I want to piggyback on it before I turn the floor over. Um, like similar to your stance, before I got into politics and private practice, I was in law enforcement. I personally put myself through Anne Arundel Community College, which is a state-based training facility for Maryland law enforcement officers. Did really well. I bust my butt. I did great. I was second in my class, but I almost didn't graduate because I didn't have money. I couldn't afford my last little bit of tuition. And so I agree with you that there are a lot of people out here, well, all of you, there's a lot of people out here who can use the help, adults who can use the help. But more specifically, I'm not a big component of GPAs being a end all be all type of thing. Because when you go to the hospital and they page your doctor over the intercom, they don't say Dr. So and so who graduated summa cum laude. You know what I mean? They say your name because you're now a doctor. So I agree with that. All right, let's see, Miss Morant, and then Miss Morant, Miss Harris, Mr. O'Neill, and then back to Dr. McHale. Go ahead, Miss Morant.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Happy
I
Wednesday.
first want to say everyone is making great points. To piggyback on what Mr. Johnson was saying, I feel like the biggest question is what the limitations would be, because I personally think even if we are going education based or scholarship based, an organization would still probably need to take it over, maybe a nonprofit or 501c3, to make sure the funds and budgets and paperwork align with that. So again, I do feel like it comes down to the amount of money that we want to give to education. I do agree with Mr. O'Neill and Dr. Michael as far as how will we get the message out? Will the children take full advantage of it? Things of that nature. Lastly, I know he said maybe some organizations up to 100,000. I do feel like some people do not know what is available in the county, and it's a lot of smaller organizations because I do a lot of things in the county, and I know a lot of other people that may be smaller nonprofits that is really doing the work in the community, really doing the work in the county, and can utilize funds to continue to give back. So maybe they don't need 100,000, but they maybe need 10,000 to do their community event, and it could be already supported through the county council. So that's just my thoughts.
Great idea, and I appreciate you sharing. Just to touch on something that you shared real quick. What if I'm thinking a sweet middle spot because I'm all about compromise. I'm just throwing this out there. What if we did a scholarship, right? And we said the scholarship deadline is going to be May 1, right? If we get the budget passed
Yeah.
before May, and which it will be, and we start putting it out there. I mean, before April, and then we start putting it out there after April directly to the schools. And yeah, you're right. We may have to find someone to manage this for us. But long story short, if we say, listen, May 1, get your scholarship in. If you don't get it in by May 1, any surplus we have by the 15th, we can just give it to a nonprofit. We can just give those surpluses to an organization. So won't nothing go to waste. I'm just throwing it out there. Miss Harris, you got the floor.
Kayla, did you want to say something? I saw you reacting.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Just for the good of the group, I just wanted to share. I know that we have some constraints with the budget and that being approved, but you all can engage partners, vet them, have conversations with them without discussing the funding if you wanted to have a getting to know you session now. So you don't have to wait to start that process until the budget is approved. You just can't talk about the funding and take any applications. So you can engage the partners to get to know them now if you needed to do that.
Oh, wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Mr. O'Neill, you have the floor.
Yeah, now number one, uh, when I was telling you about the legislative grant to the kids, it has nothing to do with your grade point average. You just have to live in that, and in statewide. You just have to live. You have to go to your delegate or senator in your legislative district. And long as you live there, you get the money if and you approve and you did your FAFSA. You know what I mean? So it's not about your grade point average. In our case, it would be everybody. Only one could apply if they in our area that the LDC is governed to do. You know what I mean? Um, but I think somebody mentioned earlier, we have to really get out there because, and I'm not putting shade on nobody, but calling a school counselor is just like you calling a guy down the street. They got many scholarships. I'm not saying this. I work up friendly and I work up these high schools. It goes in their office and it just sits there. We have to really do that. And I'm saying I'm with you all the way if we want to do it. And like you said earlier, we have to get one of us or a committee to monitor in the case that we check whatever the three or four high schools to make sure that they have people applying for. I'm not with it. And I think somebody made another point. Even a legislative scholarship, if you're in Bowie now or Morgan now, you can still apply for it. So it's not that you have to be a high school senior. You can be you can be in a master's program long as you live in that legislative district, along with if you're going to a apprenticeship program in the state of Maryland, you can get it. So I'm saying we can do this, but it's not that we're gonna put it out there and people are gonna run and grab it. You know what I mean? Because we got fraternities. I sent out something for fraternities to friendly. If somebody called me, they just called me when I'm just talking just now. And I'm not saying I want to give everything in the possible to kids because we need to do this. Because when I go up to school, I don't know anybody else. Guess what these kids say? I'm going to join the service. And with this conflict now, you know what I mean? This man talking about he don't like black folks, but when you engaging, affirmative action come in the case. They sending all our kids. You know what I mean? You got to realize this. So I'm saying if we do it, it ain't just saying putting it out there. It's gonna have to be some work and to
You can
get
work behind it.
kids to do it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
No, no, I'm with you with that. I do believe that if we're going to take this on, we're going to have to, and please, I know we're all tired of this on. We're going to put some boots on the ground behind it. Dr. McKell, you have the floor.
Thank you. Something you
Mike,
said about
Dr. Mike.
struggling to pay to get through school reminded me of something my team and I used to do at the Department of Energy. We would go to different HBCUs and we would pay the fees that students had outstanding that was keeping them from graduating. So sometimes it was just $100, but they honestly didn't have it. Sometimes it was 1,000, but we would pay as many fees as we could. So that would stop people. That would not stop people from graduating. And Howard was one of the schools we did. I want to say we might have done it at Bowie, but I can't remember. But it was across the country. We would pick certain HBCUs that had STEM programs, strong STEM programs, to help the students graduate.
Okay, and a great idea, and that's actually how I was able to get through.
Mhm.
To someone personally randomly, because I went and made some noise in the financial aid office, and a philanthropist, and that's what got me into philanthropy, because
Mhm.
someone looked out for me, and I'm paying it forward. That's a great idea, but I think the only restraint we will have, and please chime in, Ms. Carey, I think they will have to be the residents within that. So we'll have to figure out the
In the six
residential
mile
requirements
radius.
and
Yeah.
then make sure they're in that, and then we pay the graduation fee and stuff like that. And I love that idea. I trust me.
And
Trust me.
that way, it makes you seem impartial, like you're not picking a particular organization. I understand you have to do a vetting process for nonprofits, but a lot of people aren't going to see it that way. They're like, why did they get money and I didn't?
Always.
But if you do it for students, and this way you get students of different ages potentially, you get local residents. You're not picking and choosing winners per se, because everybody's a winner. And
I
it's
love that.
great PR. I mean, it's a great talking point. It shows that the state cares about people, that the county cares about people, and they can actually see where some of these monies people talk about are actually going to.
I love that idea. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay, who had was it Patel? Because my screen is shifting. I think Patel.
I
Did you?
did, but you all actually answered my question in that conversation, so I lowered my hand.
Okay. So
Thank you.
so let me ask you all this, and anyone who can, if we contact a University of Maryland, Bowie State, PG Community College, and maybe a few others, kind of just like really surrounding, maybe even, I don't know. I don't, because that can be a whole can of work, the whole university thing. Wh- how would we go about finding out who needs help with money graduating and if the said person who needs help live in our district? I know we can drop their address in the link, but will the school share this information with us, or this just follows them?
Yes, if you're going to give them money to help pay bills, yes, they
So
will have no
let me
problem
put
doing this.
so let me put this out there. The Mr. Burrow's office already has a program with the community college and scholarships and things like that. So why don't you guys, Mr. Chairman, you and or Mr. Vice Chair send an email tomorrow to his team. At least you can get started with the community college. So, of course, if you want to do Bowie and University of Maryland and other universities, that's fine. But let's just start there. That would be my suggestion for you guys, just to see what that process is. Because remember, my whole thing is there's a time constraint here, right? Because we have to get this process done and the money out the door. So if you want to start with the community college, I think that would be a great idea.
Okay, I have a quick question before I give the floor to Morant and Johnson. Um, my question is, let's say we do the scholarship thing. Let's say we help those who are graduating. We're able to narrow down the school, the person, the resident, the amount. Okay. How do we get that? Do that money go directly to the person? Does it go to the
The
school?
I
school,
wouldn't give it to the person. Yeah, I
you
would give
Okay.
pay
it
the
to the school.
school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you
Now,
put it in their account at the school.
okay, so now here's my question. So will the county cut a check directly? How does that go? Because I don't know how the county, kind of
They would
disperse funds.
they would
Yeah.
have to make, number one, you got to make sure that they're enrolled in this school, and they give you their financial aid number, and you put it into their financial aid account at that school. That's the way that works. You ain't giving them no $1,000 check.
Yeah, no, no, no. I know that, but I guess my question was more of so the county will figure that, but the county will handle that part. We tell the county we need you to
The
put money
payroll,
over
you would
here.
have to give that information to them.
Yeah.
If
So
it's
Okay.
Earl
so
O'Neill and I'm at Frostburg, uh, they would have to supply us with their number to financial aid because they might be getting some of the aids or loans and it go to their financial aid account. That's where that works.
Okay. Okay. All
so
right.
the
It ain't
point.
that deep,
So
y'all
you're
making too
right.
much
The
out of it.
money will not. The county will not pay directly to a student
Right.
or his parents or
No,
her parents.
that part I know. I just want to know
Okay. So
how do the school get the money from the county so to make the process a little smoother.
honestly, I don't know the process. So I would let's talk to Mr. Burrows and his team to see how the community college does it. I think they already have a process. Let's find out what that process is, and then we can hopefully apply it to other schools, Bowie or University of Maryland.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So let me scroll down. I don't know who was first. I'm just go the way I see it on my screen, left to right. So Michael Johnson Morant, Battelle. Go right ahead.
Oh, did you say Battelle?
Well, you know what? You're
Because I
so
thought you were saying my name last.
I was, but go ahead. You opened up. So then next we'll have Johnson, and
Okay.
then Miss Morant, and I don't see Dr. Michael on my screen anymore, but I think she's still here. But so she'll go next. So go ahead, Patel.
Okay. I was just going to say that I do volunteer with the Student Leadership Academy, and I am actually going through the steps for the PGC program from Burrow's office. So we would, if the scholarship money was the $400,000 coming out of the local impact grant, we would have to be the ones to have a list of all of the students. We would be the ones that have to send the wherever funds that $400,000 is sitting would be sent directly to the school. Have to be verified like by name. It's a long scholarship process and a lot of detail going back and forth. Borough's office uses Jones House in their process and setup. So it is a process, but you have to have criteria. You have to have all these different things. You have a board committee. It's a lot, but I just wanted to share that.
Well, but let me ask you a question. Now,
Yeah.
the difference between, um, let's call these two. Let's call scholarship and then a sponsorship two different things, just for the sake of this
Okay.
conversation.
Yep.
So, scholarship coming right out, applying for criteria, boards, going over essays and stuff like that, more traditional. And so, in this scenario where the person's already in, they just need a couple of dollars to graduate. Do you think that, I'm just from your experience, do you think that this process will be as convoluted as us just contacting, the school and saying, hey, who need money? And they say, who needs the money? Who live in in these cities? And they'll say, okay,
So
these people, do you think that'll be easy or doable?
I think it'll be easy. The only issue I think is whatever the confidentiality of the school giving us that information, and then like for them to say, oh, these students live in this area and they owe this amount of money. I think that might be an issue. But outside of that, we could just reach out to all of the people that live within this district and say, hey, if you're in school, where are you in school? And then we can like contact the school. But
I
yeah.
think both. I think we should do a mechanism of both. But to Brother O'Neill's point, we're going to have to be more aggressive than just throwing that net
It
out there.
it would be all boots on the ground.
Mr.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, can I say something?
please go right ahead.
The deal is this. We don't have to necessarily, if they're in the LDC area, we contact maybe something to the church. If you have a child in this area and is in college now, they can apply for this if they need money. I don't think the colleges, they're not going to do our work for us in identifying those people. You know what I mean? We have to do that. And we have to do it out through mailings or whatever. Now, where Burroughs can help us is he does a letter that sends out to a mailing. And we can have his office to sit it on his mailing list that the LDC has money for college students that are in college now or getting ready to go to college, and give them a number where a email address where they can contact us to get the more information, or website. You know what I mean? That's what we can do. The colleges, they, like give example. Morgan just got $80 million from Miss Scott. Everybody knows who Miss Scott is, don't they? Everybody know who Miss Scott is. You know what I mean? Boyd just got 30 million. They got to do that kind of stuff. They got a lot of stuff coming at them. They're not going to do our work. I'm just saying we can work that part out.
Okay. Okay. I agree with you. Cool. Go ahead, Mr. Johnson. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you. I was gonna follow up and say just even more insight. I think that the work can be done, and in terms of the scholarship, and I think it'll be a little bit more simplified than maybe people feel on this call. Now, I'm not negating or trying to, bring down the level of effort that has to be put into it. But as someone who is a grantee of the scholarship at PGCC, when I went to go apply for schooling or apply for classes, there's a link right under that saying, hey, do you live in District 8? Apply for this grant. once you sign up for classes. It's already there. So that's the same, and that was going to be my point too. And maybe PGCC wouldn't be an option since they are already getting a cut of funding. I think that's separate from this here. So that was just going to be a general point, but I was going to make, but also it's an example of how it can be simplified if someone is willing to go talk to the school, get it placed on the website. As someone who went to Bowie, you can find scholarship opportunities on their website outside of just the ones that they're offering there at the school. They list them out as resources, and then get into the high schools. I think to Mr. O'Neill's point, we would just have to get out there. As someone in the area, I have no problem going to talk to the folks at Oxon Hill. I know someone who works well that is the District 8 youth coordinator. So he literally has a relationship already with the students as well as the teachers at Friendly, Oxon Hill, and other places. So I think between them, most of us on this call, the resources are available. Once we're able to just take it from brainstorming and actual planning, I think it can get done. But I do think that the part where you're like, oh, how do we get the school to kind of stop that information, X, Y, Z, I think we just talk to them and ask them, hey, can we get this place somewhere where the information is available? Hey, can we put these flyers on your school's bulletin board in every building that has classes so the students are able to see that within our district? Hey, District 8, do you mind putting this flyer in your newsletter to all the District 8 residents so they'll see it and receive it there? Hey, can we get this sent out on the social media channels? Hey, can everyone in here send it out? So I think that it can get out there a lot further, and we can achieve it. It's just a matter of when we actually decide or how we approach it and get it done. But I do think that it may even be a bit more simpler. It could be simpler than even doing the nonprofit route because of the vetting process with that. And we already have it there. Even if we have a problem connecting with the students and the schools themselves, okay, we can go to the local churches in the area. Hey, do you know a kid that needs to go to school? Can you figure it out? Because a lot of them are handing out scholarships and maybe they couldn't accept everyone last year and they know about it. So I think the word of mouth, but also the connections made and the communication styles we take will matter a lot. But I do think it's a great idea. But I was just going to throw out there, PGCC may be a harder sell because they get funding already. But I think from Bowie to Maryland to the different one, it'll be a lot easier.
Okay. Okay. No, I appreciate that, and I agree with you. Okay, Miss Moran, you got the floor.
Again, all great ideas that are being shared. What you said, boost to the ground, whatever we need to do to execute. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention. In May 2025, the Maryland stopped funding for childcare. They allow parents to apply for childcare subsidy and scholarships, but because there's a freeze on funding, I don't know if that's a sector that we can team up with a nonprofit or somebody to get these working families in the District 8 that cannot afford childcare, give them some type of scholarship, because we have working moms, working dads that can't afford childcare. They approved full childcare through the state, but because the funding is not available, they're struggling to make ends meet. They got to choose if they want to go to work or take care of their child. So even if we concentrate on families birth to 5 or even do before and after school programs, I still say go through a nonprofit that is already vetted to allocate the funds or determine the parents that need the care, and would make it easily better is if they already on the list to get funding from the state, but they got the letter to say, hey, you approved for child care subsidy, but we are in a freeze. So if they already have that letter, even though we could give them a scholarship for 6 months, summer camp is coming just to assist the parents with that area of need. So I feel like that's a need too. And I know we're focusing on scholarships, teenagers, people that's in college, but there are working families right now that's choosing to feed their kids or send them to daycare or before and after care program.
Can you hear me? That is wonderful. We do have $400,000 that we got to get rid of. We're not going to be able to spend 400,000. We're not going to be able to get $400,000 out in scholarships in this setting by June 30th. So if we can figure out a way to get that list and find out who got approved and who got that paper in hand, I think it's a fantastic idea. Go who somebody. There's so many hands
And
up.
just to piggyback, I think it would make it easier because all the parents have already been approved through the state, meaning they already had verifiable income. All of their documents have been in and submitted saying, "Hey, you approved by the state of Maryland for child care subsidy." But because there's a freeze, even if we say, "Hey, we're going to send 200 children to camp," summer camp is 10 weeks, right? At least that'll give some parents some type of breathing room, even if it's for summer camp. That's just an idea to make the money go faster, or move it a little faster.
I agree. And so before I turn the floor to Miss Curry, now I know that what seems like more like a something that the nonprofit should handle. But if we do that directly through the LDC through our funding without giving that money to a nonprofit to do, can that still be considered a scholarship? It's for children, like because they're going to daycare, early childhood development. Could that be a scholarship as well? Under that
Um,
umbrella?
I- you mean giving the money to the parents for a daycare?
Well, I
I,
said
I,
we'll give it to a daycare
Yeah,
facility because you have a
strictly
letter.
to the organization, not
Yeah.
to the parent, just like how the state do. They'll give it strictly to the daycare. The daycares they are licensed child care facilities. They have their license. They have all of the necessary requirements. Because I'm in the industry, I know that this is a dying need. I see it on both parts. Yeah.
yeah, I don't see a problem with that because it doesn't have to be a 501(c)(3). And if you guys feel that it's a need and you want to support it, then that's totally fine. But I'd like to go back to another point that Ms. Morant made about scholarships, and this whole discussion about scholarships. So if you do the scholarships, we have to make sure that when the county writes the check or does the direct deposit to the school, it has to be before June 30th. The money has to be out the door by June 30th. So if you're giving kids scholarships that are going to school in the fall, you know what I mean? They have to, my kids are grown, so I can't even remember if you even have the account set up by June. If, kids knowing where they're going to go to school, the account is set up, the student ID number, and all of the things are set up so that the county can write the check to the school directly. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Miss 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 Curry, you make a good point. Even if we're gonna do this, a lot we have to do it ASAP because the seniors, I think they get out in May. You know what I mean? And they decide where they're gonna go and all that kind of stuff. So we can't wait to June. They be gone by then.
Or if these are students already in school
Right.
and you're just paying the next year's tuition.
Right. That's
But
true.
my point is the direct deposit has to be out the door by June 30th, no matter who is going, where to go, whatever y'all decide to do. You get what I'm saying? It has to be out the door. We can't say we're going to give it to this student, but we can't pay it until August when the semester starts.
Right. That's
Okay?
true.
I
That's all I
want to.
wanted to say.
All right, wonderful. Okay, I'm Dr. Michael, and then we're going to shift gears in a moment. Go ahead, Dr. Michael.
Yes. So I hear a lot of great ideas, but your biggest constraint is time. And the school year is almost over for a lot of students. So if you do something where you pay fees, those are students who are in good standing. They completed all their coursework, all the requirements. It's just a few hundred or a couple $1,000s in between them and getting their degree of certification or licensure or whatever they need. The school will be happy to get money to pay bills, just like anybody who has money coming to them, but they can't get it from someone. They'll be happy to work with you. And again, great PR move for the county. The school is going to advertise everyone. The county can advertise it to everyone, and people will say, look, someone who actually is care and helping people during a tough time. I also love the childcare element because that's also an important issue as well. And if the people are already approved by the state, then giving them some money to help them with childcare, I think would also kind of demonstrate we're trying to help people during these very difficult times. But the only drawback for that is just making sure you pick the right organization. If you give the money to a nonprofit, they're going to want to cut. They're not going to do this work for free. And so how much of that money are you willing to let them have? Let's say you give them $100,000 and they want 10% for their efforts. Are you going to be okay with that? And does that conflict with anything that you're attempting to accomplish?
Okay. Now, all good points. So this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to piggyback on what you're sharing. All right, let's do this. Let's we have all the notes. Patel took really good notes. Vice took some notes. Let us get together over the next 2 to 3 days to put together a actual plan to present to you all by next week. I want to call a special session next week. If everyone's available, please. This plan, Patel, if you can take this down, the strategy that we're going to come up with has to be one to do several things. One, I want to have a child care piece in that, and we have to have the criteria on how we're going to get the information for the parents who have already applied and been approved. Two, I want another piece for those who are graduating, whether it be from a local college, residents from a college, a hair school, a trade school, anything like that. And then the third piece will be those entering into school. All right. And what we'll do is we'll put that plan together to be our scholarship endeavor. Our backup plan, and what we want to do is we want to have a backup plan where by June 1, whatever monies we haven't gotten out, we will already have some nonprofits lined up to get approved for the funding before June 30th. Okay. Uh, let's do that. Let's do that because everybody got a lot of great ideas, a lot of pros and cons. And that's why I'm so glad. And let me tell you what I appreciate about you all. No one, everyone shared. There was no stupid idea, and more importantly, no one was afraid to say, "Well, this is why. This is something I want you to consider with your idea." Not too afraid to step on toes. And I'm not saying that that was anyone was doing, but sometimes people just sit back and smile and nod because they want to be polite. But we're trying to actually get some work done, and I really appreciate everybody saying, "Well, yeah, I hear you, but consider this." So I feel like this is probably now, while all of our meetings are important. They are. Amen. I feel like this was one of the most exciting meetings for me personally. Okay. So let's do this. We have everyone's input. Dr. Michael, before you go, would you mind, do you have our email? Do you have the LDC email?
I don't believe I do. Let me grab a pen. I just got all the
It's on
information,
the email.
unless it's
You
on the
get email
website.
from us.
I'm sorry.
It's on the emails that Miss Curry sent out. You should have
Yeah,
everybody.
Okay, well, I can check my email after the call. I
yeah,
can't do it on
so
my phone right now.
no worries.
She's not a
Whatever.
part of the LDC, so she's not receiving the emails I send
Oh, she's
out.
No,
not.
no,
Oh,
she's just an
No.
active resident. We appreciate you.
But
But,
it is on the county's website under the Local Development Council. You'll see the email address there.
And I did
and,
apply for an open slot. So just putting that out there.
Okay, well, let's talk. Let's talk. Can you be so kind to email us all of your information? Because we definitely want to encourage and support all residents who want to be a part of this and every difference we can make in the community. Okay. And so I think this is a good place, especially we're just over our time. And I always want to be very cognizant of time. And because I can't afford to pay none of y'all overtime for being here. Okay. I only get an hour. Anything over an hour, I can't afford to pay. Vice, go ahead. I'm gonna get the floor to you before we close out. What you got?
Thank you so much, Dr. Michael. We really do appreciate your input and you even joining tonight. We have Chair, we have enough people here to approve minutes as well if you want to move forward and do that or
Good
not.
call. No, no, no.
But everybody's here
Absolutely.
now. And do we need to make a motion for the special meeting that you want to have next week? Or no?
We need a motion for both. We need a motion for the minutes from the previous meeting as well as for the
uh,
special session.
Okay.
minutes.
Dr. O'Neill, you had something before we?
Yeah, the minutes. Just
Okay.
just change Veronica, Delegate Turner made a point, is Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. In the minutes it said somebody, Congressman Jefferson. It's not Jefferson, it's Jeffries. I mean, it's just
that is thank you.
because I looked at it. It was
y'all leave out the
Jefferson
nigga alone.
way at Louisiana, but his name is Hakeem Jeffries. Jeffries.
Yes,
That's who
sir.
she was talking about.
Yeah, but can you make a note of that, please, Battelle, to just for the official record? No, and thank you. No, seriously, thank you, Brother O'Neill.
Yeah.
All right,
There was
so
one
Thank
other
you.
thing, but I can't remember it.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from last month with the change correction from Jefferson to Hakeem Jeffries.
Vice Chair, we appreciate you making that motion. There's been a
Second.
motion placed on the floor. The motion has been second. Any of those opposed, please speak up. Those don't, let all the ayes have it.
Uh,
I
Okay, that's enough for us. So the motion has passed. The minutes have been approved from our previous meeting. Is there a motion on the floor for a special session next Wednesday at 7 p.m.?
I would like to propose the motion for the next special session next week and planning for the allocation of the $400,000 on the table.
Wonderful.
I'll
There's a motion.
second.
Fantastic. There's a second. Their vote. Any discussion? Anybody need anything they need to talk about that? If not, we can put the vote on the floor. Let those say aye. Who are in favor of it?
Aye.
I
Let the noes speak up. Okay, hearing none, that is going to go ahead and pass as well. So we will have a special session on next week. Sorry, Miss Carey, to do this to you. I know you only expect to see our faces. This face that only a mother can love. I know you only expect to see it once a month, but
Oh no, it's totally fine. I'm encouraged by all the discussion and what you guys want to do. So I will send out a probably Monday um email with a new link for a Zoom meeting for next Wednesday at 7.
wonderful.
No,
Thank
it's
you.
good. Good stuff.
Thank you all so much. May you all go in peace. May you be blessed. Let's keep in touch. We're going to, and also, Vice, if you can set up a meeting between me, you, and Patel this weekend so we can flush all these ideas up, get something real nice and presentable like, amen? So we can get it to the team and we can move from there. And also, thank you again, all those who are on the call who are not members of the LDC, and specifically Dr. Michael. We appreciate you and your input. And we're very grateful for you caring. It's just that's for you actually caring. We thank you for that. If there's nothing else, everyone can consider themselves held harmless until next Wednesday.
Okay.
All right, Dr. O'Malley, is your hand up? Hold on, is your hand up?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, no worries. Yep. So everyone, please be dismissed in proper form, and you're held harmless until Wednesday. Thank you all so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
y'all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Nice.
have a safe night.